Hello everybody, it's Mike O'Callaghan here. I want to talk to you today about my criminal past. Now this happened about 3 or 4 years ago. I was sitting in my local pub and these two guys came up to me, and this being the kind of pub that it was, I knew that they probably weren't legit. And they came up to me and one of them said, do you know where Copenhagen is? And I said, well, I know it's in Norway. And they looked at each other, then they looked at me, and then one of them said, I think you might be perfect for a job we've got in mind. And I said, okay, what are we talking about here? And he says, we want somebody to go to Copenhagen and get some merchandise for us and bring it back. And I said, what are we talking about here? And he said, protractors. Yeah, now these protractors were the biz. They had all the degrees, up to 180 degrees. They had 172 degrees, 38 degrees, 103 degrees, 90 degrees, which was always a popular one for squares and triangles and so on. They didn't do the circular protractors. There wasn't so much profit in them, but it didn't matter because you could just turn this protractor round 180 degrees, and you had all the other degrees, you know, like 223 degrees, 192 degrees if you fancied that, or 308 degrees. You get the picture anyway. Yeah. So me and this other bloke would go over to Copenhagen and fill our suitcases with protractors and come back, and I'd have like 1,000 protractors in my case, nothing else apart from my lucky 1 kilogram bag of heroin, which I take with me everywhere. And we'd come back, and we did this for about 3 months. You know, me and him going over to Copenhagen and bringing the protractors back, giving them to these guys, and they'd go around all the black market schools, colleges, universities, that kind of thing, and like selling them on. But one day we were coming back from Copenhagen, and we spotted a rival organisation. It was the Helix gang. Now we were pretty small time, but they were hardcore. They didn't just deal with protractors, they dealt with pencils, calculators, ring binders, those triangular things with the ruler down the side, all of that sort of stuff. And we knew that these guys weren't to be messed with. So they looked at us, we looked at them, and we just ran. We ran out of that airport, and we just kept going, and they were chasing us, and my friend started to lag behind a little bit, and I just kept going, and he'd fall further and further behind, and they got him, and they stabbed him. They stabbed him and they stabbed him with the sharp ends of their compasses, and then they went, and I went back to him, and I held him in my arms as he was dying, and he said to me, throw those protractors away, just chuck them in the cut, get out of this business, run and never stop. And I've not kept stationary since.